Okay, here we've got to go over just a couple more things to finish up this cockpit. First of all, we've got the instrument panel. The instrument panel is pretty self-explanatory. You're just going to cut away all the flashing all around. I did make it extra thick so you had plenty of room to glue it to the edges of the cockpit. Just cut away everything. The gauges are printed on photo paper, so they're shiny. You just cut them out, and I use you can use contact cement, or I use white glue. Just put it in there, let it tack up a little bit, and then push those into place. You can paint the dials the way you want. I've got this one mounted because I've already taken some pictures, but you want to do your gun sight last. There's a holder and the gun sight that should be mounted after this is glued in place. Anyway, one thing I do suggest, like always, is that you take and lay this down on a piece of 16th inch balsa 3/32. This is 3/32, and trace it out and cut the balsa so it fits in the back. This makes it nice and sturdy, and it keeps its shape really well, even if it's in a lot of heat. But anyway, I put that on there. You just keep trial fitting it until it fits in there just easily, and then just CA it in place. Okay, the dash is pretty easy. Once you get the cockpit installed in the plane, it goes in really easy. It just you slide it in from the bottom and rotate it into place, slide it back, and then glue it. And anywhere you put glue along here, I use the Tester's glue, and it'll hold it well, or you can use CA. I just think the Tester's works better because it'll go through the paint and adhere plastic to plastic. Okay, once you got that done, the next thing is the dash. The dash up here, I have a pre-made piece for it. It just fits right in place. The way it's done, it's a piece of plastic that's pre-formed. If you can see how there's a ridge all the way around, you want to cut this piece all the way around. You also want to cut this as close to this edge as possible. I made it extra long. I've since fixed this mold, but you can see a real faint line where I added an extra 1/4 inch on the end of it, so we have some excess to work with. But anyway, you want to cut as close to this corner as you can. Alright, once we got all that cut out, now here's the finished piece. We'll come up here on the airplane, and you're going to slide this back till this curve matches across the back here. And you need to make sure this is centered. And what's going to happen is that from this model compared to the smaller ESM Corsair, there is a slight concave, it curves slightly backwards here. And what happens if you cut it straight like this is, you end up with a big lip to hang over there. So what I do is I put this in place. You can tape it down, whatever, and then take a pencil and trace up underneath it. Alright, and then we're going to cut that away a little at a time until it matches this contour here. Now, you want to make sure that you leave a little bit of a lip between these two toggle switch holders. You want to leave a little gap so you have some glue to go across there and not into the raised part of plastic. Okay, to install this, you need to, first of all, you need to tape up this whole area with painter's tape, because I've accidentally got epoxy on my fuselage for it, so I bear to get off. So tape the area up, rough this area here, and also rough up the inside of the plastic. And you can use 5 minute, 20 minute, whatever you want to use. If you work really fast, you can use 5, just a real thin film, and you want to pull that down and tape it down into place, and then make sure you hold it down. Okay, if you use 5 minutes, it won't take you long, or you can, if you use 20 minutes, you can weight it down and hold it in place. All right, once that's glued in, then, well, before you glue that, you need to go ahead and put your drill your holes to put your toggle switches in. They're done the same way you're doing these others with the toothpicks. You can see that they're inserted. I hope you can see they're inserted from the rear, and then just run a thin line of CA on them to hold them in place. Alright, once you got that installed, one other thing I want to go over that's installed inside is the oxygen tank. I tried several different ways to mold this, and I tried to make it one piece. It was just hard to do. So I ended up with a two-piece mold. I cut my original mold in half, and then I added 1/8 inch to the bottom of it, so you can have a deeper pull, and it pulls it nice and straight down the sides. So once your part will look like this, and what you want to do is you want to cut it to where all this flashing is off, where it's got straight sides. All right. Like I said, I made it 1/8 inch taller, so you can start marking about an 1/8 inch or just short of an 1/8 inch up, and start cutting around that. And you're going to have to do it pretty much by eye. And once you cut both of them out, you need to look at them and make sure they make a nice round cylinder. All right. To glue this together, I'm going to supply some ABS in the kit. What you need to do is take your tester's glue and just cut your real thin sliver and glue it onto the inside of 1/2. And then on each side from top to bottom, and then one piece in the middle on one side. And then before that totally dries, you want to go ahead and put some the tester's glue on the other side, and then push the two pieces together and just let them set up until that dries. This one I haven't done it, but you can feel, before you paint it, you can prime it and feel this, and it'll make a nice cylinder that doesn't have any lines in it. To fit the top on, I do that with a toothpick. You can see here that I've got a gauge. I got the gauge and then the handle on top. All it is a piece of resin. It's got a hole in the center of it, or a divot in the center. You drill a hole right through there, the size of the toothpick, and you cut this off where it doesn't have the point. You also take the handle, or the knob, and you just barely drill until it's got a small divot in there. You don't have to go all the way through. And you're going to glue this on top of the toothpick, then run the toothpick through the other part all the way down, and then drill a hole in the top. So when you're through, all this just slides right down on there, and you're going to glue that in place. Now that just fits right inside the cockpit. I wanted to give you a quick view of how to do that, and then just glue that on top. Okay, that pretty much goes over everything that I have to put in the cockpit. It really makes the plane look nice. You do have to lower the push rods a little bit and lower the servos just a little bit, but you can get a full 6-scale pilot in there, it should go in fairly easy for you. The kit's available from VQ Warbirds. If you ever have any questions, or you need to mess up a part and you need another part, you can always get a hold of me at Tysplanes.com, and I'll replace the part for a very minimal fee. I just want you to have a nice looking cockpit. So I hope the kit works well for you. If you have any questions, feel free to get in contact with me, and this is the end of the video.